Hey, we get it. You don't want to be hearing a Progressive commercial right now, so let us tell you something you do want to hear. You are powerful. You're a warrior who bathes in your enemy's tears. Then you step out of that refreshing tear bath and into a bathrobe that somehow looks good on you. Yeah, you can pull off a robe. There. Don't you feel better? You'll also feel better when you save money for driving safely with Snapshot from Progressive. Savings you can use to buy more robes. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Snapshot not available in California, North Carolina, or from all agents.
Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, what are you guys up to?
Oh, little weed, you know.
It's the Weedsmen Potcast Nugget.
Zippity what?
Ready to drop the bass? Let's drop the bass.
Whoop-de-doo. What does it all mean?
All the random stuff that didn't fit in Friday's show you'll find here.
Oh. Okay.
Hey, man. You got a joint?
Got a little bit of refried smell on your boy?
What that mean?
Please, just give me like weed, all right?
We talked about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Nominations came out.
Oh, yeah, they did.
Yes.
I forgot to look at them. Radiohead, though, I heard was on the list.
Yeah.
And it's rock and roll. I mean, sure. Obviously, that title is meaningless now. LL Cool J is amongst the nominees.
I heard he's hard as hell.
That's what I've heard.
First on the list.
Wait, are they in some sort of order?
I mean, I think this guy's probably a shoo-in.
Bon Jovi.
Yeah. Jersey's own.
John
Bon.
Jovi.
The wife, not a Springsteen fan.
I know.
She's a Bon Jovi fan. She's 40. She grew up in New Jersey.
Sorry.
Makes sense.
She was driving a Trans Am. And she was listening to this.
Yes. But I mean, do I think he's going to get in? Yes. Do I think he should get in? No.
Well, first of all, I think part of the reason that they put 25 year, or is it 20 year?
It's 25 years since the release of your first.
25 years since the release is to find out if this shit's going to really last and endure across a couple decades and still have meaning as art and be important work that is worth preserving. And Bon Jovi's not it. Bon Jovi is nostalgia, right?
On that one.
Correct.
I'm more for, if you want to expand the idea of what you consider rock and roll and what you want to celebrate in music, that's great, because it's a lot of the artists that they've introduced that aren't traditionally rock and roll. It's not that I'm disagreeing on the fact that I think that they're bad artists, and we don't have a nationwide acclaimed hip hop Hall of Fame the same way that has the same attention. So, some of these artists should be rewarded for their contributions to pop music. I'm more for that than I am just giving out prizes because people still know your songs and go see you play those same shitty songs at stadiums.
Right.
And, I mean, like, Kate Bush is somebody who's made an impression on music. And Bon Jovi is somebody who's released earworms into the population, like in that second Star Trek movie, and everybody was like, "Oh, weren't the '80s cool? '80s are so cool, man! Everything was better back then." Remember Bon Jovi? It's member-berry shit. Mm-hmm. Like, suck a dick, Bon Jovi. You don't belong in any Hall of Fame for anything.
Remember John Bon Jovi?
Fact is, you're actually a better actor than you are a musician.
There you go. I agree with that.
Yeah, Kate Bush, the next nominee. I'm surprised these guys aren't even in yet. You're not in yet? This was my surprise.
That's what she said.
Hey-o.
Bitch, I can hit both walls if I want.
Yeah.
Oh, you haven't seen Vice Principals yet? This season?
How is this band not in yet?
Good songwriters, great rock and roll band,
and earworms,
classic songs. They're earworms though because they're well constructed. They're good melodies. Everybody was kind of out of their minds in the '80s when it came to most popular music, and They just remember that shit because it got played over and over again. I think there was a much better choice of music, and you actually in the 70s, and 70s and early 80s, that you actually could make decisions of like, this band is, I don't know. It became about who had the biggest hair, the most neon colored guitar, and number of scars.
Yeah. Ass rock. Come on, Internet. Fine, give me this one then.
Yeah, Depeche Mode. Sure.
I don't think they should be in.
I'm not bad with this. I'm not mad at this.
You're not mad?
I'm not mad at this, man. I know. I understand. It's Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
But they only had one album.
Well, to be...
Violator. Well, I should say one album that everybody knows.
That's not true. They have many songs that off of other albums. Like, even their comeback has... Rob's like 2.
Maybe 2 songs that were good. But, I mean, it's a whole album.
He reminded me of Super Troopers when you're counting the meows, and he's like...
I was waiting for you to get another one. I was like, come on.
So, I don't know. I think when you look at bands like Depeche Mode... you have to weigh it against who have you let in already, okay? I have to know if you've let the Smiths and the Cure in first, and if you haven't, then why are we talking about Depeche Mode? But I don't keep track of it enough to go like, oh yeah, I love the Smiths because, they're in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, or maybe because they're not. I have no fucking clue.
I don't know. That's a good question.
Another band. This is on my They're Not In Already list.
Yeah.
Yeah, what the fuck?
About time.
Yeah.
I almost brought...
For all you kids that listen to us.
I almost brought this song up last
means
week.
Under 30 people.
Because I heard it on the radio on the way over.
Straits.
Last week when I was coming over to the studio, this song came on the radio, and I was like, God damn it, this is a fucking great song.
I rock this every time it comes on.
Yes, I do as well.
Talk about one of the most underappreciated... Well, can't even say underappreciated guitarists. Mark Knopfler is well known amongst musicians to be an amazing guitarist.
He is.
And
he uses all of his fingers. All of them. Every single one of them.
Yeah, the guy's... Yeah, he doesn't play with a pick, right? He just kind of does this finger-picking country style. And... I mean, it doesn't sound like he's chicken-picking type of stuff, He's just making cool guitar riffs.
Yeah.
But it does make it makes sense the way he does the attack a lot, where he can hit notes simultaneously instead of kind of going through a fast, like, strum or almost arpeggio. And, just real quick about Mark Knopfler, though, he also kind of defined a tone for that decade. The tone of the Stratocaster guitar played super clean and really well.
Set in between the pickups.
Yeah. Your Rhythmics?
Again, like album.
I mean,
that's worth having.
For me, there's a nostalgia crossing over with an appreciation for how techno music has infused itself with popular music. That makes songs like the rhythmic songs like this interesting to me. And
I ain't mad at it.
I ain't mad at it either. And sometimes if I'm in the right mood, I'll roll the windows down, crank it up. But I'm not pretending that it's because it's a genius songwriting that I still remember this song decades later. It was because I was a kid and the 80s were kind of cool.
I don't know. My mom liked them, so...
Yeah, my mom used to listen.
Marilyn Manson
I dig 'em.
owes them, a little bit of a career, a little bit of royalty. Hey, thanks for part of a career.
Yeah.
that cover got him attention.
Yeah.
And I know where you're at on this band. Like, no.
Suck my dick. I don't know.
Must not hung out in a lot of sports dive bars.
They're not horrible songs. And from what I hear tell, he does a good live performance. And that can go a long way in my book, but I've never experienced it. But your songs don't really age well. They don't warrant a lot of repeated listenings. Like, that was a good song, and I don't
get you
ever have to hear it again.
A lot of it's dated. Their 70s stuff's way better than their 80s stuff.
It's dated, but it's not even... I don't know. It's always come across to me... It's always come across to me as... Yeah, I guess dated is the word. It was bubblegum pop of the time and shouldn't have really survived outside of that.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, not yet.
About damn time.
I'm not a Judas Priest fan, but if you're going to call yourself the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and it's been this...
They were one of the bands that changed the sound of metal.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. And helped shape the style.
Yeah.
Let's face it.
Exactly. Yeah, they were one of the architects of metal.
They're like, hair, permed and long,
And they allowed
guitars,
had to go,
pointy as
breaking the law.
Breaking the law.
Breaking the law.
Lots
Breaking
of
the law.
leather.
Breaking the law. Breaking the law.
Look, the leather jacket was born.
And I brought this. Really? Oh, come on. I'm disappointed in us as a group. This is his
Why?
most
What did I do?
This is his like us
As people,
the
as a
American
species?
public.
What we've doing with our... What
This
we've
is
done with
his.
our-
This is his most. This is his top song on Google Play.
It should be.
No.
Yes. I know. There's really classic Def Jam shit that just is undeniable, but as a catchy pop song, like this one's this one's kind of good, man.
James Todd. I'm sorry, James Todd Smith. No.
Dude,
No, he should be in, but
that's my jam.
I like the track below it. All right, here's another. Here's another of Not Yet.
Yeah.
How are these guys not in?
Finally.
If Jay
Already.
Giles gets in before the MC5, I'm gonna fucking
kill myself.
riot.
Yeah.
The one man riot.
We're going to Cleveland. We're not that far.
I know, right? We'll be there in 4 hours and buy tiki torches at Kmart.
30.
No.
Tiki torches again? Oh.
This guy's been to jail.
Dude, what? Oh, it shows that's my favorite album that they're showing there. It's called, what is it, Made in America?
It's just Back in the USA.
Back in the USA, thank you. Couldn't remember the title of it. But this is from the live album that they put out. Which I think more people know and seem to think that this performance is like the representation of this band, but man, Back in the USA is like just a perfect album. I think it's like my Velvet Underground Loaded. Like, I think that's the perfect album from that band. If you could only have one album by that band.
They're on the list.
Yeah?
They're on the list like they're not in already?
Yeah, they're
what the
not in
hell?
already. They are on the
See?
list of nominees.
See, again, why the fuck are we talking about Depeche Mode? Like, I ain't mad at
It's a big
Depeche
group.
Mode.
But the meters
And I'm
aren't
not
in.
saying you shouldn't let them in. I'm
Right.
saying, where are your priorities?
Yeah, this should already be in.
I mean, just for their influence on hip-hop music
I know.
alone, right?
Dr. Dre alone.
Inspiring numerous beats. Like, you've let in artists that were influenced by the meters and stole their beats.
Huh?
They get.
Are you kidding me?
This is another one
Yeah.
that they're
Oh,
not
fuck
already
me.
in pile.
Wait a minute. I guarantee you Alan Parsons is in, but the Moody Blues? Are you fucking kidding me?
This is one of my favorite bands of all time.
You're just now getting around to this.
Yeah.
Do you think Maybe they space some of these out because they don't want to be like, oh, we don't.
So why are we talking about Depeche Mode?
Let's not do Moody Blues and Pink Floyd at the same time, and then Moody Blues just keeps getting pushed off.
Yeah.
About damn time.
Yeah, like what? They're not in?
Yeah.
This is one of the best live bands I've ever seen.
It seems to me like they should take these lists and pick out like 2 or 3 that are just automatics. Like we know these people definitely have to be in because they're just not our. Otherwise, who's going to take the rest of our list seriously? Who's going to? If Moody Blues doesn't make it in, who's going to come to celebrate LL Cool J and be like, clearly you made the right decision?
Right.
Future generations will see that you were right in celebrating the doing it well style of LL Cool J.
Yeah.
Really? Come on. Again, I'm disappointed in us as a group.
Oh,
this is the top track?
Still.
They sound nothing like this anymore.
Yeah. And if this is the only album they ever did, this song would have not. It would have been like Fine Young Cannibals, you know?
I know, right?
The song that you know, and maybe you bought the album, but you didn't keep it. And that's the long and short of it. It wouldn't be a classic track.
I know this is a political pick, too.
This song's on a level of like
with it.
closing time for me.
Yeah.
Now, immediately after that, there's actually way better songs on this album.
Oh, for sure.
And there's certainly hints at what great songwriters they would turn out to be. But hey, it's a pretty straightforward song. It adheres to the loud, quiet aesthetic of the 90s rock.
Yes. Good old dynamics.
And also the self-hatred that seemed to exist, the self-loathing that swept the nation during the 90s.
Yes.
I think the only 90s band that that get in that I think would irritate me would be Smashing Pumpkins.
They're probably already in.
Yeah,
no,
I don't know. See, I don't know. I'm debating who should and shouldn't, but I have no idea who already is.
Nirvana or
These motherfuckers should get in.
Oh, for sure.
Tell me another band that sounds like Rage Against the Machine. You can't. Rage Against the Machine sounds like Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah.
I'll give you that. I mean, I think a lot of people want to fight their style, but they fall flat on their face when they try and do so.
Well, then they started the style that they're biting.
No doubt.
The style that nobody else can recreate.
Well, I mean, they popularized it like Apple will popularize the smartphone. Like, they didn't invent this shit, but they did come at the right time.
They're damn good at it.
They did see an intersection. They're like, wait a minute, these metalheads are listening to fucking Public Enemy? Are you shitting me? There's bands out there buying Judas Priest and Public Enemy. There's music fans out there buying both this shit. Like,
this is one band that I am so happy I got to see.
Yeah, I'm envious of you, sir.
I saw Audio Slaves. I saw like 75% of them.
Well,
I've never seen
I saw
either.
Rage Against the Machine twice, and I've seen Audio Slave twice. I've yet to see Prophet to Rage.
nice.
About time.
This was the top hit for
I know, which I thought it was going to be telling me something good.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, why not?
Yeah.
I'm a fan of this. Big fan.
Do I think that she deserves it more than most of the other bands in here? No.
No. Yeah, I would agree with that. Not yet. So give me a couple more years.
Oh, see? Well, there's a good reason why Shaka Khan should not get in this year. I mean, not that you just have to pick a black woman
This is
to put in
somebody's
this
name
year.
who I've heard a ton, and I couldn't tell you any of her material.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You probably heard a lot in, like, it pops up in films and,
Yeah.
and TV shows and shit like that.
I've heard of her.
Diamond commercials, or
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck.
Car commercials.
Yeah,
Lincoln. Yeah.
That's right. Muse did a cover.
Yeah.
Ah, all right.
You've definitely heard this song before.
Yeah.
It's kind of my jam. You know,
Classic.
yeah.
This next person, I've never heard of this next person. Sister Rosetta Tharpe.
I know
Rings
the
a
name.
bell.
I know the name, but
That wasn't the top hit. The top hit. Alright, obviously somebody older. Probably deserves to be in there. It had a huge influence that we probably all have no idea about.
All we hear church people say, they are in this holy way. There are strange things happening every day.
okay.
On that
Not exactly
night,
gospel,
judgment
huh?
day, when they drive
Sounds like it's heading towards rock music.
there are
Yeah,
Kind of bluesy.
yeah. You can hear the R&B in there.
Yeah.
every day, every day, there are strange things happening every day, every day.
Kind of a nice song for a TV show. Huh? Yeah. Didn't they use that on the Leftovers?
Oh, we
This
Quentin
is
Tarantino
definitely-
movie.
Yeah.
And Link Ray is not.
Link
Nope.
Ray
Already.
needs to be in there.
So, Kenner, why the fuck are we talking about Depeche Mode?
Right.
Well, how do you even get to the point where you're looking at Mark Knopfler and Dire Straits? Like, no offense to his talents, but how much influence did he take from Link Ray
Yeah.
in order to craft that sound and style?
I believe this isn't this guy. Wasn't he Jimmy Page's favorite guitar player when he was a kid?
I guess maybe that's what my major beef with this concept. Because the way that they vote people in, instead of, I think it should be more of a history, right?
Yeah.
That you can constantly spin as time progresses. You always got the next year's worth of history to cultivate, and maybe even do that as like a year by year basis. Of, let's look at 25 years ago and what lasted. What songs that made it to the radio do people still think are good pieces of art now? Mm-hmm. And maybe even dig a little bit deeper and find what were some influencers that weren't popular at the time, but ended up maybe becoming so, or just influenced a lot of other bands, even though maybe they didn't have a big career on their own. And let's really excavate this concept of rock and roll. If you're going to have a museum for it, I mean, isn't that what it's for? If you're going to say that your presentation is going to be like a museum is where you go and like have shit laid out in front of you. Like, what the fuck is up with Egypt? There's guys with bird heads and feathers up their asses, and how do they build a pyramid anyway? And you go to the fucking museum, and you find out some shit about what all this shit means.
Right.
What is... I don't know if you took the collected people that are in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and took an average, you couldn't tell me what rock and roll meant. You wouldn't have
an attitude.
You wouldn't have a concise definition of what it is that you claim to represent.
I would say this even
I
defined
don't
a
even know.
generation.
Yeah. Ready? This is about to be a badass
Final
organ
answer:
solo.
nobody gets in. Stop this whole charade.
Right. I love this.
Oh, and I fucking love the Zombies.
Yeah.
This is
that's a jazz organ solo in a pop song.
The Zombies are my jam. I think possibly my favorite band from this era of music. It's is that a B3 or that might have been a Vox organ?
Oh, yeah,
didn't exactly sound B3, although you could probably tweak it to sound like that.
That's the 2018 list.
I like it.
That's those are the nominees. That isn't who is actually going to go in.
I don't think there's anyone who's like, besides Bon Jovi, that I was like, well, no, they shouldn't be in because they're just talentless hacks. Bon Jovi was the only one.
You know, like LL Cool J, MikeyB?
Yeah,
I'm not a fan, but I thought he said. I don't think that
the ladies love Cool James. His name isn't MB Cool J.
Whatever, man.
If you like this show, please tell a friend. Please follow us on Twitter and like and share us on Facebook by searching for Christopher Media. You can subscribe to all ChristopherMedia.net shows for free on ChristopherMedia.net. Please make sure to rate and comment on all your favorite Christopher Media shows. Thank you in advance for supporting Christopher Media by clicking on the PayPal button and by clicking through to all the sponsors who support ChristopherMedia.net. Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net, and thank you for listening. Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
The thing about the Home and Auto Bundle from Progressive is that by now you've heard a lot of ads about the Home and Auto Bundle from Progressive. We don't even need the words the Home and Auto Bundle anymore to tell you that you could save big with the ring-tailed lemur from Progressive, or that every hot peach cobbler comes with round-the-clock service and protection. And that's the thing about the goat with magic powers. You've heard a lot of ads about the sushi in Vancouver. See how much you could save with the Home and Auto with the Shaman in the Jungle from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Bundle discount not available in all states or situations.